You're watching News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
Well, very good Tuesday morning to you. It is 8:02 on January 21st.
Now, because of this latest blast of winter weather and the traffic issues, speaking frankly, it is a big mess. Anywhere you go, we are expanding our team coverage into the 8 a.m. hour.
That's right. Dana Dean is on the scene of an accident in South County. She has been there for a few hours. Dana, how's it looking right now?
Well, traffic has picked up again on northbound I-55. That had been closed for a little while, but the good news is those lanes are back open. The bad news is southbound I-55 still closed. It's been closed for a couple hours now, and I'm told by the St. Louis Fire Department that it's going to be quite a while until they have this back open. So here's what happened. Take a look over here. An 18-wheel tanker truck and a MoDOT plow collided sometime after 4:30 this morning. The MoDOT plow was pulled from the scene probably about 30 minutes ago. You can see the 18-wheel tanker truck still there. St. Louis Fire Department on the scene. Here's what happened. 2,400 gallons of fuel were in that tanker truck. 1,900 gallons of fuel spilled into a ditch. So the fire department has been applying foam on top of the fuel to keep the vapors down. You can see their fire truck. That's not snow on the truck. That's actually foam. They were just spraying a few minutes ago. They say they're also building a wall of dirt around the fuel, and they're trying to stop the flow. And they say that there's no danger to nearby residents. They say there's also no injuries that they know of, but they say this is a large fuel spill, and this is going to take a while until they open this back up. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is the Bayless exit here, I-55 southbound. This is a Bayless exit. And I-55 southbound is closed starting at Weber, so we had to get off at Weber, make our way through the back roads. We're in someone's backyard actually right now to bring you this close look at the accident that's causing such a mess on I-55. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Dana, there is a short delay here, but I do want to ask you a question just to follow up. You're right there literally with the front row seat of what happened, and it sounded like you were saying that they spilled so much fuel they had to treat both sides of 55, and that's why there's just been this huge mess and delay in that part of 55, correct?
Yeah, well, I asked the St. Louis Fire Department why did they close down northbound I-55, and they said, well, a possibility was because they would have to treat the northbound lanes the same way that they treated the southbound lanes. But Sarah Daly tells me that there was an accident earlier. So we really don't know what happened. We did see firefighters standing in the northbound lane, so it could have been a combination of everything. All I can say, though, is that this morning it is a mess on I-55. Back to you, Pat.
Okay, thank you, Dana. Well, there have also been multiple accidents on Interstate 70 in St. Louis. Our photojournalist Chris Cross is live along I-70. And Chris, can you tell us what you're seeing there?
Good morning, Jennifer. Yeah, this was a wreck that happened about 2.5 hours ago or so now. There were several wrecks that happened at about the same time along the stretch of eastbound 70 between O'Fallon Park and Adelaide and Salisbury, excuse me. The other two accidents were kind of minor. This one was a little more significant. You can see here, this car suffered a lot of damage on its driver's side, and then up here is the second car that was involved, and you can see that there's some heavy front end damage there. This had traffic slowed down for several hours here while they cleared it up, sorted it out. One woman was treated on the scene and released, but as you can see, traffic's still moving very slowly through this section, and I am unable to determine if that's just because it feels kind of slick to them or if they're seeing this wreck and thinking, well, I better slow down. Other than that, traffic is getting through in all lanes, and it's really cold and windy, and other than that, everything's going pretty good out here. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right,
thanks,
Chris. Thank you. Well, let's send it to our other commuter dude, Jeff Wilson. He's over in Illinois. How's it looking out there, Jeff?
Good morning, thanks. Right now, I just got on to I-64 from 255. I'm heading west just to see what the condition is looking like a little bit closer to downtown. This looks real good here. I must say, though, all the on-ramps and off-ramps that I've seen so far still have some of this slush, ice, and packed snow coating. So be very careful. There's a lot of cars that have just had a lot of trouble getting around some of these on and off ramps. But the Illinois Department of Transportation has been out all morning and treating these roads and doing a very good job. And most of the interstates are in real good condition. The smaller highways are a little bit different situation, though. Highway 3 down towards Columbia is still pretty well covered. Highway 157, 159, 50. I've been all the way up from Columbia, Illinois, in the south to Edwardsville in the north. Checked out a lot of the main streets, the smaller highways. They still have some of this packed ice and snow covering. So be very careful. Give yourself plenty of time to get to work if you haven't left yet. And just be cautious, be patient, because there are going to be some delays. I know my daughters take I-55 north to get to work, and it's usually the best, most clear highway all the time. Today is one of those days they just didn't expect. I don't think they gave themselves enough time, and they're all really upset. They had to sit in traffic for over 30 minutes before they could get rerouted. This is Commuter Dude, Jeff Wilson on the east side. I'm going to send it back to the studio.
All right, Jeff. Sounds like you got an earful from your daughters, but
Yeah,
Scott,
they didn't like it.
if you're rooting for a fast melt, it looks like that's probably not in the cards either.
Not in the cards. It's my daughter's birthday today,
Hey.
so you know, I got her some snow for her birthday. She gets a snow day. I hope she lets Daddy sleep this afternoon for a nap because he's going to need it. Let's show you what's going on. We still have some snow around the area, but not to the extent that we had earlier. Most spots, a half an inch to the most we've seen has been an inch and a half up in Jerseyville. And we're looking here down in Sullivan. Occasionally, if you look really closely, you can see a couple of flakes fly by, but that's about it. But just a nice little dusting here in the Sullivan area. But keep in mind, these temperatures have really dropped off in the last couple of hours. Again, looking at what's left on the radar screen around St. Louis, it's not a whole lot. We're still seeing a few light bands of snow, but it's beginning to fade. Skies are starting to clear out somewhat to the north and west of us up in northern Missouri, and we will see some clearing as we head into the afternoon hours. But look how cold it is to our north. It's a degree above zero for the actual temperature in Kirksville. We've dropped to 13 as anticipated in St. Louis. Then we take into account those gusty winds, and it feels like it's 5 degrees below zero now with double-digit wind chills to our north and to our west. So temperatures are going to hold about steady here this morning. Not much in the way of any additional accumulation, but still a gusty wind, still wind chills that will be from 10 degrees below zero to around zero, and then we'll climb back to about 15 perhaps at 2 o'clock this afternoon under a partly cloudy sky. But again, no big warm-up on the way. Let's find out what's going on the rest of the roads. We've already seen that it's a mess out there, and Sarah Daly has had her hands full with all of this mess this morning.
Our system is actually down right now, Scott. So take a look at this map here. This is the best way I can show you everything that's going on. You can see out here in St. Charles County, there's an accident here. The two right lanes are blocked from 70 eastbound Lake St. Louis Boulevard, which is causing a huge backup here along the stretch of 70 from the Blanchette Bridge. Down off 44, there's an accident that has the left lane blocked 44 eastbound at 141. Also a bit further west at 44 between Highway and Soccer Park. You can keep in mind that was a tractor trailer that jackknifed. So if you're traveling 44 westbound there, that's going to be a problem. At 55, northbound lanes are scooting along again. At one point, there was 2 separate accidents, a disabled vehicle, then a 2-car accident, and then they had some lane closures, or lane restrictions rather, in regards to the southbound accident with that fuel tanker truck and the MoDOT vehicle, which southbound lanes are still closed at Weber. The accident is at Bayless and the lanes are closed at Weber. If you take a look here at 4064 heading into downtown St. Louis, 3 separate accidents here. One is at Big Bend, also one at West Kings Highway, and another one here in downtown St. Louis that has lanes closed as you approach the Poplar at the 14th Street exit. So again, a lot of things going on. The map's pretty much lit up like a Christmas tree, and that's not what you want to see if you're heading out the door. So just tack on some travel time, and if you don't have to hit the streets this morning, please stay home where it's nice, safe and warm. But we're going to check in now with Chris Cross, our commuter dude, who's out on the streets this morning. Or I'm sorry, we're going to toss it back over to Jennifer, Pat, and Nicole.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. It's 8:11, and the good news is roads in some areas are actually improving.
That looks to be the case on 270.
That's right. Let's check in with Ryan Dean. He's out in West County this morning, and so things looking better on 270 there, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. You heard Sarah say that things are looking bad on the map, but here on 270, in this stretch anyway, things are looking okay. You're seeing a little bit of snow packed in some of the lanes, but we can see pavement for the most part, and there's been no accidents in this area. Now, earlier we saw tons and tons of plows coming through. We haven't seen so many at this point, and I think that's because MoDOT says once they feel like the interstate is in pretty good shape, they are going to shift their focus to the main secondary roads like Lindbergh and Manchester, Olive, roads like that. So we were just actually driving on Manchester. That still has some snow cover to it. And of course, they're always concerned about those on-ramps and off-ramps, but they are using beet juice with their salt to help with the freezing temperatures, because beet juice actually allows the salt to work more effectively when temperatures get this cold. But MoDOT had full crews come in at 10 o'clock last night, and they worked throughout the night. That is the very latest here in West St. Louis County. Ryan Dean, back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ryan. Now, the other downside of this winter weather, we are tracking some power outages. Now, not as many in Illinois as there are in Missouri. This is the Ameren, Missouri outage map. I just checked a couple of minutes ago, and it had about 5,500 in our immediate viewing area. And as you can see on the map right there, St. Charles County and then out west of 270, definitely a lot of Maryland Heights and Chesterfield look to be affected. So about 5,500, but that number's been fluctuating, so it's something we'll keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And in addition to the power outages, of course, scrolling along the bottom of your screen right now, lots of school closings, other businesses closing, more than 400. We also have that full list available online, ksdk.com.
And in about 2 minutes, we'll have an update for you on the all-important weather forecast.